People say love fades. They say the butterflies disappear and the spark dies. But at 87 years old, I've learned something different. Love doesn't fade suddenly. It doesn't explode or collapse in one dramatic moment. It evaporates quietly, like water left under the sun, disappearing little by little until one day you realize you're thirsty and there's nothing left to drink. Most couples don't even notice it happening because nothing looks broken from the outside. There are no slammed doors, no screaming matches, no betrayal. Just silence slowly growing between two people who once couldn't stay apart. I met her when I was 24. She laughed at something I said that honestly wasn't even funny. And I remember thinking that if she could laugh at my worst joke, maybe she could survive my worst days. Back then, love felt loud and alive. We talked for hours about nothing. We walked with no destination. We held hands like the world might try to separate us. We promised each other forever, not understanding what that word truly meant. Forever sounds romantic when you're young, but no one explains that forever requires maintenance. Our first year of marriage was fire. We had a tiny apartment with thin walls and furniture that didn't match, but we were rich in attention. We noticed everything about each other. She noticed when I trimmed my hair. I noticed when she wore a different shade of lipstick. We listened fully when the other person spoke. Love felt strong not because life was easy, but because we were present. Then life began to speed up. My career demanded more time. Bills grew heavier. Responsibilities multiplied. Fatigue became normal. Slowly, without announcing itself, our attention shifted away from each other. Not because we stopped loving each other, but because we assumed love would take care of itself. That assumption was the beginning of the fade. By 35, I was focused on building stability. By 36, she was focused on raising our child. We became efficient partners. The house ran smoothly. The bills were paid. The routines were organized. From the outside, we looked like a successful couple. Inside, something softer was quietly shrinking. We still respected each other. We still shared space. But we stopped sharing depth. Love doesn't fade in grand disasters. It fades in ordinary evenings. It fades when you nod without really listening. It fades when you scroll through your phone while they're talking. It fades when you say, "I'm tired," too often. It fades when appreciation becomes unspoken and effort becomes assumed. At 42, I stopped complimenting her. Not because she wasn't beautiful, but because I thought she already knew. At 45, she stopped telling me small stories about her day because I often seemed distracted. Neither of us made a big announcement. We just slowly stopped trying as hard. And love, without effort, weakens. One night, after our child was away at a friend's house, we sat at the dinner table in silence. No television, no noise, just two people who once couldn't stop talking. She looked at me and asked, "Do you ever miss us?" I didn't understand at first. I said, "We're sitting right here." But she meant the version of us that laughed more, touched more, listened more. She meant the connection that once felt effortless. That question stayed with me long after the dishes were washed. The truth is, long-term love is not sustained by passion alone. Passion naturally rises and falls. What sustains love is choice. The daily decision to remain curious. The daily effort to stay kind. The discipline to protect connection even when you are stressed or busy. Ego quietly damages what pride refuses to repair. We celebrated 25 years of marriage, surrounded by friends and family who admired our longevity. They applauded commitment. They praised loyalty. But later that night, as we lay on opposite sides of the bed, I realized we had built a durable marriage, but not necessarily a deeply connected one. Durability is not the same as intimacy. Asterisk at 60, I tried to repair what I finally noticed fading. I brought flowers again. I suggested date nights. I made more space for conversation. She appreciated it, but rebuilding something requires consistency, not occasional effort. She once told me, "I don't miss being young. I miss feeling connected." That sentence revealed everything. Youth fades naturally. Energy fades naturally. Physical beauty fades naturally. But emotional connection only fades when neglected. Asterisk in our 70s, life slowed down enough for us to see each other clearly again. We began sitting together in the mornings with coffee, talking about small things. We started holding hands again, not out of excitement, but out of gratitude. I realized something powerful. Love hadn't disappeared. It had been buried under distraction and routine. When attention returned, warmth followed. Asterisk now at 87. She sits across from me, with gray hair and familiar eyes that have seen every version of me. The butterflies we once felt are gone, but something steadier replaced them. There is comfort. There is shared history. There is understanding that doesn't require explanation. Love didn't fade the way I once feared. It transformed. But it almost faded completely when we stopped nurturing it. Asterisk, if you are in love, don't assume time will protect it. Don't assume comfort means security. Don't assume they understand how much you care if you stop showing it. Look up from your phone. Ask questions and listen fully to the answers. Express appreciation out loud. Protect small moments. Because love rarely disappears in one traumatic event. It weakens in small, repeated neglect. Asterisk I learned that love is less like fire and more like a garden. Fire burns bright on its own for a while. A garden requires daily care. Ignore it and weeds grow. Tend to it and it blooms again, even after difficult seasons. Asterisk so no, love doesn't simply fade. Effort fades, attention fades. Gratitude fades. And when those disappear, love struggles to breathe. But if you choose to remain present, to remain intentional, to remain gentle, love evolves into something quieter yet deeper than butterflies. Asterisk. And trust an old man who has nearly lost it once. The small moments you think don't matter are the very moments that decide whether love fades.